Hi everyone, so welcome to the subtraction part of the video. Subtracting can get confusing. One way to avoid this confusion is to add it, to change a subtraction problem to addition. So what we're going to say is keep, change, change, okay? And so what that means is instead of using, let me see if I can get a nice big thick marker, make it yellow. So if we look at this top part here, -8 minus 4 can sometimes be confusing to think about. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the subtraction to addition. So this changed, and we've added this -4 here. So we're going to keep the first number. Queda, cambiar, cambiar. Keep, change, change. Okay, so we're going to practice doing our keep, change, change. And so I'm going to go back to my thin marker here for a second. Okay, so if I look at what needs to change, the middle and then the last part. The first part stays as it was. So it means I have -8, and then when I change my numbers, this is going to change to a plus, negative changes to a +2. So if I then go ahead and try to solve that, that means I have 8 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and only 2 positives. So once they cancel each other out, that would leave me with -6. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We keep and then change, 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 and then this 6 was actually a +6, so it's going to change to a -6. So that means I could rewrite this as -5 plus -6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negatives and 6 negatives. That's a big negative party. A lot of negatives together. So if I count them all up, that means I have 11 negatives in total. In problem number 3, if we look at what needs to change, what needs to change again is this middle number, and then this +6 is going to change to -6. So that would be 2 plus -6. 2 positives, 6 negatives, and when we cancel out, I'm left with 4 negatives. So we're going to keep, change, change. So that means I keep it, I change it, and I change it. If I have 4 negatives and 1 positive, once I cancel out, I'm left with 3 negatives. Okay, so no matter how many numbers we try, we're going to convert everything to addition and then make a nice long list of all of our positive and negative symbols, just like we did in the last part of the video. So let's take a look at what needs to change. So I see a subtraction sign, so I need to change that, and if I change that, then the number next to it needs to change. So that would be 7 plus -8. And because this is plus, I can leave it alone already. I do not need to change the addition. So if I look at what I'm working with here, I have a +7. If there's no sign positive or negative, we just assume it's positive. Then I have 8 negatives and 1 negative. So if I start canceling them out, I have 1 negative here and 1 negative here for a total of 2 negatives. Okay, next problem. We're going to go ahead and change this number, which means the 5 changes, so that would be 3 plus -5. And then this needs to change, which the number next to it needs to change, so that would be plus +5. And so this is what we were talking about, the additive inverse before. That's what this name is. When I have a -5 and a +5. If I owe $5 and then I pay $5, I have 0 of that money left to consider. So all I have left is 3 positives, and because nothing's there to cancel them out, my answer is +3. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. Subtraction changes to addition, change the next number, so I have 7 plus +6. Again, you don't have to write the positive sign if it confuses you. Excuse me. And then I'm going to change this subtraction as well. So that's the same thing as 7 plus 6 plus 1, which would be 14. All of them are positive. If all of them are positive, you add them up, and there is just a big old positive party. So if I look at this first part in number 4, that's positive already, so I can call that 6 plus 8. Then I have a subtracting 7. So if I look at subtracting, that's 7. I'm going to change the subtraction to addition, which means I need to change my sign. So I'm going to add negative 7. Okay, and then I have minus 5. So change that to a plus, change that to a plus. So I'm going to add 5 or positive 5 again. So if I have 6 positives and then 8 positives, that's 14 positives between just those two. Because this is a big old positive party, I can tell you that that has 14 positives. Then I have to add into that 7 negatives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I have 14 positives and 7 negatives, when we go through and cancel those out, I would have 7 positives left. Because if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that would cancel this whole row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left. So if I have 7 positives and then 5 more positives, that would be a total of 12 positives. Okay, next one we can go ahead and take a look. If you happen to notice I have a positive 2 and a negative 2, those can cancel out. 4 plus 7 is 11. Now if you didn't notice those would cancel out, feel free to go ahead and write out all of your symbols and you will catch those as well. Okay, next and last for this video, we have 8 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 3 positives. So if I cancel out from there, that means I have 5 negatives. And then I'm adding to that 7 negatives. So if I have 5 negatives and 7 negatives, that's a total of 12 negatives. From there, when I look at this last bit right over here, I notice that I need to change this subtraction to addition, which means this sign changes as well. So I'm going to add 5. Okay, so if I have 12 negatives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 5 positives, and I start canceling them out, hopefully you see that we have 7 negatives left in all.